guys, Tracy from Two Rocks Tarot, and today I am sharing a spread that I created called Reconnecting with Your Deck. Now the deck that I'm going to be using this spread for is Titania's Fortune cards. So this is what I actually learnt the Lenormand with way back when, and I had a really close bond with this deck, like you wouldn't believe it. So this deck came into my life about a week after the tarot did, and I actually set aside the tarot and just concentrated on working with this particular deck. And then the deck went off. It started to give me really doom and gloom readings. It was just off. It had a really heavy feeling, and it's the only deck that I've ever thrown out in in all my years of reading the tarot. I actually threw it away because that's how bad it gotten, and it was a shame because it was I had a really strong bond with this deck. And then once I threw it away, I sort of, I just read with other Lenormand decks, but I never really got the depth of readings like I did with this particular deck. So when the second edition came out, because this is the second edition, I decided to buy it, and still I'm kind of leaving it to the wayside. I still haven't really worked with it, so I thought that I would actually create a spread with it to see if I can shed some light. So the first question in this particular spread is, why did I need space from this deck? And I'm going to ask the deck itself. So this is going to be reading the Lenormand intuitively, which everybody reckons you can't. Well, you can, and this is going to prove it, I hope. So why did I need space from this deck? So let's have a look. Oh, okay. So I got the Bear. Why don't I need space from this deck? And I know exactly why, because I found my own strength. I found my own strength. I didn't need the crutch of this deck anymore, because I read everything that there was to read in it that went wrong with my life, but I also read some really good things, and that was predicting my now husband, meeting him and getting married again. So that's why I needed space from the deck, because I didn't need it anymore. I found my own strength. So that's pretty awesome, isn't it? Hey, I found my own strength. That was the Bear. And funny enough, the Bear in this particular deck anyway can describe a big person, a muscly sort of type of person, which my husband actually is. And so that's why I didn't need it. Not only did I find my own strength, I found him as well, who gave me a lot of strength, as he has continued to do in the nearly 17 years that have been together. So that's absolutely perfect for that particular position. The second card is something that will re-strengthen this connection. So something that will re-strengthen our connection. And there it is, the Garden. Something that will re-strengthen this connection to this deck, the Garden. Now, this is kind of funny because on my walks, I've been actually walking a little bit further each time, because I really want to lose weight, and I actually have been losing weight. It's been great. So, but when I go for walks, I see a lot of signs in the gardens that are around me, in the parks, on the floor, next to my favourite tree. Actually, next to my favourite tree, that tree there kind of looks like the tree that I call my guardian tree, that I connect with every day. Well, it hasn't been every day, because I don't walk every day, because it's been so damn cold in the morning. I like to leave when my husband leaves for work, so he leaves at 5 o'clock in the morning, and I usually go for a walk, but it's absolutely freezing now, and it's pitch black too. It's not daylight anymore, so I haven't been going as much. So something that will re-strengthen this connection is still going for walks. Actually, that park actually looks exactly like a park that I've always wanted to walk through, but I haven't walked through it yet. Go through this park. Actually makes me want to go right now, I'll tell you what. So I need to go for these walks. I need to go for a walk through this park for some reason. And I need to, because this is also very lush and green, so I also need to look at it from a different perspective. So I need to not think about the times that I went through when I read with this deck for the first time. I need to look at this deck in a more social way. So I need to read with this deck in more social situations. And it's quite funny that this has come up, because I was only thinking when I do my next Instagram posts, I was thinking of using this for a week or so to re-establish my bond with it. And so this has actually told me that's exactly what I need to do, because the garden is all about socializing, isn't it? So not only am I learning about looking for signs when I actually go for my walks, but it's telling me that I need to socialize more with this deck. So I need to actually use it on social media. What kind of a great message is that, really? So there you go, people. You can read this Lenormand intuitively. There's nothing to it. Just do it. Now the next question is, why am I now being pulled to work with this deck again? Why am I now being pulled to work with this deck again? And I got the clouds, and that's just simple because my bad times are over. It's all bright and sunny now for me, babe. See, that could either be the moon or the sun, but for me it's the sun. The clouds have parted in my life. They're completely gone. It's just all, I'm just happy, I can't describe how much my life has changed since I first started reading with this deck. And that's why I have now been pulled to work with it again, because the clouds are gone. I can see clearly now. Perfect, absolutely perfect. So the next one is position is view I need to change to re-establish this connection. So view I need to change to re-establish this connection. Ooh, I'll take it as that one, since that fell right. A star. View that I need to change to re, because we know the stars is about hopes and wishes, but as it's in the position of something that I need to change to re-establish it, I think I wanted too much out of it. And it doesn't make sense. How can I explain it? A new way to a view I need to change. Because funny enough, in one of the meanings that Titania has got to this, for this particular card, is that when it falls next to a person card, so the person cards in this deck is not just the man and the woman, like the bear can represent a person, of course, that it usually means that the person has got is a very nice person and has got a kind outlook on life. So someone who thinks the best of everybody, they cannot see the bad in people if their life depended on it. They just see the best of everyone. So for me to re-establish this connection, I've got to think about the best of this deck. I've got to remember the good times that I had with this deck, not the times where it showed me the bad things happening, but I've got to think of the good times that I've had with this deck. So that's how I've got to re-establish with it. I've got to use it more. And I've got to think about all the good times that we actually did have together. And now it's time for a bright, shiny new type of beginning with this particular deck. So, yeah, that's really good. That's quite awesome, actually. And then the next position is a new way I can connect with this deck. Oh, that come up right away. And this is the owl, the wise old owl. So this is the bird's card in the traditional deck. So the owl is just using my wisdom. A new way that I connect with it is try new things. And basically, because I had this deck when I very first started to read, so this would have been, 20 odd years ago, because I think this deck came out in 2000, year 2000. So I just lost my train of thought then. Oh, a new way to connect with it, sorry. So not being the birds, but being an owl, I'm wiser now. I'm older and I'm wiser now. And in doing so that's what I was going to say. So back when I first got this deck, there was no social media. So I don't think there was YouTube, was there, 20 years ago? I don't know. But it wasn't anything I was aware of, or the internet or anything like that you could, Instagram and all that. Facebook wasn't there, so you couldn't use it on social media. So a new way that I can connect with this deck is to actually use it more on social media. So it's actually harks back to the garden card of it, using it socially. So now that I'm older and wiser, I can use this deck because my knowledge has grown since I first started to use it. So I know what to look for what to avoid and that sort of thing. So it's using my, the wisdom that I've gained with this deck, but approaching it in a new way, and that's by using it more than what I currently do. So that's quite good, actually. And then the next one is something I should release that will help me with this reconnection. So something that I should release. That one come up. No, that didn't. That's too stuck together. So something I should release that will help with this reconnection. There we go. And I've got the Rider. And really, what that's telling me is to leave behind the past, because this racehorse is racing towards the future. It's racing towards the finish line. So what I have to release is all the negativity of the past, basically, that I've had. The past issues that I've had, not that I had with the deck itself, but the things that I read with the first deck that I had of this. So it's really it's just to leave the past where it isn't behind, and don't think that it's going to go off like the first deck. Don't think like that. It's not going to happen necessarily. Well, it's not going to happen because it's brand new. Now this particular deck I actually contacted on the back and the front, and I have got a walkthrough of this deck, but I've just rewatched it the other day because I've noticed it's had 1,000 and more plus views on it, and it's kind of really crappy because I haven't got good lighting or anything like that. So I was thinking if I should redo it or not, but I don't know, because everyone seems to still be watching it the way it is. So it must have hit home. But I have contacted both of them because this is a really flimsy deck. So there's contact on the front and the back. So something I should release that will help with this reconnection is just to release all the negativity that was associated with the first deck. I actually did cleanse and consecrate this deck. It's the first time I've ever done that with a deck. So I did, I smudged it and I had it on my altar for quite a while and everything like that. And it does feel really, really good. So that's the thing that I should release. And then the final I thought would be fun would be an actual message from the deck itself. So what message does this deck want to give me itself? No, that one disappeared again. That's all right. So a message from the deck. It still shuffles really good, even though it's contacted. I got that idea from Nina from Shuffle Tarot because she'd done it with one of her decks that had a pulling cardstock, and it's really, really good. So a message from the deck. Oh, crikey, he's nearly dropped the whole lot then. And then we got the Stork, a message from the, oh my God, I can't believe it. What the first thing I noticed about this is the rainbow behind. Gosh, I've been having so many rainbows messages. It's been absolutely freaking incredible. So the rainbow, a message from the deck. So with the crane, as you can, well, the crane is associated with good luck in Europe. So in the book that comes with this, Titania said that storks that were nesting on houses was seen to be as an omen for good luck. But I am really, really pulled to almost like a rainbow. It's very, very faint. It's very hard to see, but I know that's a rainbow behind there. So rainbows for me, I was working with spirit and doing spirit messages, and I haven't been doing a lot of them. Perhaps this deck would like me to give it a go with doing a spirit message with this actual deck, which I've never actually tried with an Lenormand deck. I did do it with a Kipper one that I've got, but I've never tried it with a Lenormand. So maybe this deck would like me to try and use it for a spirit message. And because there's a rainbow there, I'm thinking I just might try that. So next time I'm called to do a spirit message, I'm going to use this deck. And also, because it's associated with good luck, it feels like that this deck is letting me know that it's a good luck deck for me. It's going to bring me lots of good luck. So that's the message I get from it. So there you go on how to, I don't know what to call it. What am I going to call it? Reconnecting with your deck spread or something like that. But that was actually really good. That worked out a lot better than I thought it would. And it's really got me excited to be working with this deck again. Oh, I said something else then. Almost sounded like Lisa from Tarot Alchemist when she says deck. So this was really fun. So yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to use this deck for next week's messages and in Instagram. I'll probably use it for the whole week, maybe longer. We'll see how I go. Press like and subscribe and the notification button if you've enjoyed this video and like to watch more of my videos and content. And I'll see you all next time.